transaction is completed and considered as a success once it has been picked up and verified by a miner or gets failed. So there are two possibilities. Either your transaction will be completed if it's picked up by the miner and it is successfully verified, but due to some factors, maybe there was a problem with your transaction, or due to any factor, it can also happen that your transaction gets failed. Then that status will change from pending to failed. So there can be three states where the transaction can be in pending state when the whole verification process is going on. Then it can be changed to a success message where it says that transaction has been confirmed, or a failed message where it says that the transaction could not be confirmed. Now, moving to the transaction details. So, a transaction has a lot of data and a lot of details attached to it, which you can also go and check in the Blockchain Explorer. So, before seeing that in the Blockchain Explorer, let us first list all those attributes here. So, the first attribute is transaction hash. As I told you, once the creator of the transaction, initiator of the transaction creates a transaction, he receives a transaction hash in return, which is a unique identifier of that transaction, and it is of 66 characters. So that unique identifier, actually you can copy that transaction hash and paste it directly in the search bar of the Blockchain and Explorer, and the whole details of your transaction will be displayed. So that is one of the major applications of a Blockchain and Explorer. It's like a Google, it's like a search engine for your transactions. The moment you put the transaction hash, it will show you whether it's still pending or it has been confirmed, and all the other details. So transaction hash is the unique identifier. Second, status, as we've already discussed, it can be pending, success, or failed. So there can be three status to a transaction. Then the block. So block would mean the block number in which the transaction is included. Since we know in blockchain all the transactions are included in a block, so your transaction with the one which you initiated or the ones which you are viewing on the Blockchain and Explorer, which block number has been assigned to this transaction can be seen through this attribute. Then timestamp, this is very important, the exact time at which this block was mined. So timestamp is because since we know that in blockchain all the transactions are time stamped, so you have a fixed information that when that particular transaction was confirmed. From would mean the source of the transaction, so it would mean the wallet address of the externally owned account which has initiated the transaction. Interacted with or to, so that is the reason it's not written only to, it's written interacted with. So it can happen that the destination part is a wallet address, or it's a smart contract. In case it's a smart contract, then that would mean we have interacted with the smart contract. So the receiving party can be anything, EOA or smart contract, but here in this attribute interacted with, either you will get a address, it can be the wallet address or it can be the address of the smart contract deployment. Value, the amount of ether transacted. So not all transactions they deal with the Ethereum transfers, so in that case the value is zero if there is no money movement and there is simply a calling of a function in smart contract and other things. So in that case the value would be zero. But in cases where you are sending an asset in the form of cryptocurrency to the other account, then that transaction will carry a value with itself. Transaction fee, this is the fee which you have paid to the miner for mining your transaction. So you can also view what was the transaction fee charged. Finally, the gas price. So we will be discussing gas price in detail in upcoming lessons, but for now you should know that gas price is what was the cost per unit of gas. This gas price can be set by the initiator of the transaction. As I told you in the last slide, in case you want to increase the speed of your transaction confirmation, you can increase this gas price. Means for per unit of gas, you can choose to pay more so that it is incentivized enough for that miner to pick your transaction and complete it first. So these are the major attributes for transaction details. There are more to it, but these are the most important ones. Now let's talk about blockchain explorers. Blockchain explorers, as I told you, they are the search engine for blockchain. So there's a search bar where if you just put a contract address, then you can view all the transactions which have happened on that smart contract. If you put a wallet address or your own wallet address, it will show you all the transactions which your wallet has made or initiated or completed or received. So it is basically a search engine, a Google for your blockchain. It's an online tool to view the different transactions. And now there's a lot of utility to it. Obviously, for your purpose also, once you have initiated the transaction, Blockchain Explorer is a good medium for you to verify that your transaction has been confirmed or not. And also, it can be used as a receipt between two transacting parties. So in case there's a person A and he has to transfer some money to a person B, and there cannot be any ambiguity in this transaction, because this will be clearly mentioned on the Blockchain Explorer that A sent this money at this timestamp to B and it was received by B. So that's why it builds trust and it helps us in verifying a transaction. So Blockchain Explorer comes to utility for this point. Then explore the transaction history of any wallet address. For example, I want to see that what transactions did I make in the last month. I can simply just copy my wallet address, paste it in the search bar, and it will display me all the transactions. I can apply filters, and maybe for the past month I can view all the transactions which have happened through my account. Also, you can explore the mempool status. So mempool means memory pool. It is means the unconfirmed transactions. So those transactions which are still waiting for the miners to be picked up and completed. So there are whole set of unconfirmed transactions. So in Blockchain Explorer, you get this medium where you can just go and see this mempool status, the unconfirmed or the pending transactions, and then see whether they have been confirmed or not. Also, one very important point is that you can verify a contract at the Blockchain Explorer. So contract verification will be covering up later on also, but for now contract verification means, so there are certain contracts which the companies decide to make it open source, you to reveal the code of that contract. In case you want to do so, you have an option in Blockchain Explorer where if you put in your source code there, and if you verify to be the owner of that smart contract, then there's a green tick which shows just alongside the contract, which that green tick signifies that this contract has been verified. So you can go check out the source code for that contract, and multiple contracts on blockchain, they have been verified, and you can always go and check the exact source code there. You can also make some read and write transactions there itself on the Blockchain Explorer itself using this facility of contract verification, but this is for another day. Right now, this you should just know that Blockchain Explorer helps you with this. So there are a lot of blockchain explorers. The most common ones are blockchain.com. So this is mostly used for Bitcoin transactions. Etherscan is used for Ethereum transactions. Again, there's Token View, that's another blockchain explorer. And today we will be looking at the Etherscan blockchain explorer. Etherscan. Etherscan.io is the website. This is the Ethereum blockchain explorer. So as I was telling you, you can look, this is the search bar for this, and there are all the filters you mentioned, and you can see there is a menu side here, blockchain, tokens, resources, and more. So for now, we'll have a look at the blockchain menu. So here you can view the different transactions, view pending transactions. The pending transaction mean the mempool status. So all the transactions which are pending can be viewed here. View contract internal transactions. As I told you, transactions are of three types. So the ones in which you are interacting with a smart contract can be viewed here. And then there are other things as well. Verified contracts, as I told you, all the contracts which are verified. So let's see some transactions. If I click on view transactions, so it will show me all. So this right now I've not put in anything in the search bar. I can actually put my own deployed contracts address or my wallet address here. Then it will show me my transactions. But for now, I'm just giving you a generalized look. So you can see that a lot of transactions are listed here. And these are the most latest ones because it says its age is only 26 seconds ago. So just let us have a look at the transaction attributes here. So as you see here, you can also go and check some important attributes, whether this has been, mostly the status, whether it is successful or not. So other than this, you can see that first of all there is a transaction hash, then there is the method, that means a function which has called this transaction, or whether it's a transfer. Some things have been identified, and some things in which it is not identified what is the kind of transaction. There you just see an id, a numerical id. So this is not important right now. The important thing is the block number, the timestamp, the age, the source of the transaction, the destination, two, the value. It is 0 ethers for some transactions, as you can see, and in some transactions where crypto is involved, there it is showing the exact value to you. And the transaction fee, so this is the fee which the miner has charged for adding your transaction to the block. So you can also click here on the transaction hash. The moment you click here, so you can see that all that data which we were talking about is displayed here in a very convenient manner. So this is the 66 character hash which was returned at the time of creation. This is the status. It is showing success. It can be pending for some or failed also. Then the block number, timestamp, exact timestamp, as I told you, from to the value transaction. There are many more attributes. If I just click on here, you will see that there are a lot of attributes, burn, fee, others, but that is not important. For now, these are the main attributes which are important. And I think that as smart contract engineers, we should be aware of the basic attributes a transaction carries with itself. So that's why we are covering this. So going back, so now so we've viewed the transactions. Now just let's explore let's explore some verified contracts. So I just wanted to show you how a verified contract looks. So this is the address of the contract. This is the name of the contract, the compiler versions, everything is mentioned here. So the license. So as I told you, MIT license, unlicensed. This is the first line of our Solidity program code. You can see it is all picked up here and written here. So let me just click on one of the contracts. And as you can see, so here you can see all the transactions are displayed. So the particular contract which I chose, so all the transactions which have happened on that contract are shown here. Internal transactions are shown, and now there is this green tick on that contract. This green tick means that the contract is verified. The moment I click on this contract, you can see the contract source code has been verified. The name is the merge, and you can see this is the complete source code of this contract. So you can refer to the source code. All the security audits, the ABI is mentioned, the bytecode is mentioned, all the details are mentioned. But for now, ABI and bytecode is not that important. The source code is important, and you can verify the complete source code here. You can read about it, read the professional ways of writing functions and writing Solidity code. So it's a good practice. As beginners, we can always come here on Blockchain and Explorers and open a few verified contracts and have a look at the code. It gives us an idea that about the industry practices of writing smart contracts. So here you can read and write contracts as well. So you can see that this Blockchain Explorer has a lot of utility to it. You can view all the transactions, view top accounts, verified contracts, and everything. So I hope you found today's lesson useful. See you in the next one.